Warning: the following video contains explicit language which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Hello and welcome to this video. This is our continuation through the Black Tapes. We are doing episode 6, season 1, The Devil's Door. I think in one of the earlier videos for this episode I said at the Devil's Door, or in the Devil's Door or something like that, but it's The Devil's Door. I need to correct that. This episode is being really obnoxiously good. I love where it's going and how it's going. So without further ado, let's get into this puppy.
Okay, seems to doesn't sound very definitive.
Well, you remember Fred Barnes, the administrator at Three Rivers?
Yeah.
Well, he emailed us a video, a clip of him examining Simon Reese's room.
One thing I gotta say that I really like, or at least in the headphones that I have, you have one person on one side talking and another person on the other side talking, and you get that feeling that you're in a room sitting with a person talking on your left and a person sitting talking on your right, just, back and forth, and you're the observer. It's kind of cool the way they've done that.
So, this is Simon's room. He's away with the therapist right now. As you can see, it's quite secure. Large doors. We have staff round the clock taking care of them.
Taking care of him or them, as in the doors?
Up there, you can see the camera, so we can keep an eye on them. Make sure they're not self-harming. But look at this. Right here.
And actually, self-harm, one thing when I became a prison guard back in the 1990s, yes, back in the 1900s, kids, that people will self-harm not to kill themselves. It's not a suicidal thing. Some people do it as a release. Some people do it as attention-seeking behavior. And some people just, their brain doesn't compute and doesn't know how to handle stress, so they harm themselves. And I was 19, 20 when I started with prison system here in Texas. And that was something for me. It took a lot of adjustment for me to understand that because somebody is cutting on themselves or tying a garrote around their neck or something, they're not necessarily trying to kill themselves. It's just the way their brain deals with things. And that was a huge learning curve for me growing up. And I was quite literally still growing up at that point.
Simon drew this on the wall.
Creepy music. This can't be good.
Okay, so there are some numbers and symbols drawn on one of the walls. It looks like black crayon or chalk. But near the middle of everything, there's something else.
I don't think I've ever seen black chalk. I know how to make it if I wanted to. Making chalk is that dates back to the Renaissance, but interesting. I might have to try that someday. Break out all the old pigment stuff and see if I can make some black chalk. Just need some little bit of limestones, and drywall's good for doing that. But I digress. I'm getting way off the subject of the Black Tapes.
It looks like a pentagram and a double circle.
Simon's room is in the south wing. Now we're entering the east wing.
Okay.
We're about 80 yards away, 2 floors up from Simon's room.
That's a huge house. That is huge. If you're still inside the house and you're 80 yards from somebody's room, that's a huge house. Huge building.
This is the room of a patient named Trent Orville.
Ah, sanitarium. It's still huge. 80 yards? That's damn near a football field. And a football field from back line of the end zone, of one end zone to the back line of the other end zone is only 120 yards. Wow, that's huge.
Some things I want to point out. That camera up in the corner, again, to keep them from self-harming. Last week, Trent Orville was hospitalized.
Interesting.
It appears someone slipped into his room and tried to choke him to death.
That's not a good thing. Oh, maybe they got it on camera.
His security camera went offline right before it happened.
Of course it did.
Thankfully, Trent started banging on this metal bed frame, and our staff came rushing over. When they got here, Trent was having troubles breathing. We
I imagine so.
questioned him about it, and he says he was napping when he woke to find Simon standing over him, choking him with his hands. But our surveillance video shows that Simon never left his room.
Uh-oh. Being in 2 places at the same time.
I'm not sure what to make of it, which is why I'm reaching out to you and Dr. Strand.
I wonder if she's made amends with Strand yet.
And there's more. We found this behind Trent's door.
Here we go with the creepy music again.
So, behind the door in Trent's room, it looks like someone drew something on the wall. And it looks very similar. In fact, it looks identical to the symbol in Simon's room. It looks like Simon somehow gained access to Trent's room and drew that thing.
But he never left his room, so, that's kind of spooky.
Or Trent drew it himself to try to get Simon in trouble, or something.
But how do you identically... I mean, I've known some damn good artists in my life. I've seen some damn good artists. But I've never seen somebody be able to replicate 100% somebody else's drawing style or something like that. There's always minor deviations that somebody who knows an artist can pick up on. And it's weird.
But there are 2 very significant complications. The first, Trent has never met Simon Reese. And the second?
Simon says he did it? That he strangled Trent?
So Simon says.
I wonder how long they went before they got that pun in there.
Simon talks now?
Yeah, apparently he started talking a few months ago.
Has he spoken about his parents' murders?
He has.
And
Simon confessed to killing them.
so, are they going to try him for the murders?
Well, there's more. He says, and this is really strange, he says that he teleported into his parents' room and that his spirit committed the crime.
He teleported?
That's what he says.
Yeah, I think we'll go ahead and wrap this up here because this just seems like a good place to leave everyone hanging to the next video. So until next time, everyone be good, humans. Be good to other humans. And peace.
Hey, it's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?